you should maybe ask, is this the best God has for me, or there's more? And I'm going to say we need to be a little bit more dissatisfied, because that dissatisfaction pushes us into what God has for us. We're talking about prayer and fasting, and we're going to start fasting next week, Sunday. But I wanted us to prepare ourselves for next week so that when we start, our spirit is ready for what's coming. And a big part of fasting is this. It's the uncomfort of fasting that sets us up for the more that God wants to give us. And God's got more for you. I think we've heard it this morning, that He's a good Father that wants good things for us. And sometimes we've missed what God has for us because we've become satisfied with what we've got. And there needs to be a little bit of this, I'm not happy with where I'm at, and I want more. And I need more. And it's not being gluttonous. It's not being self-serving. It's knowing that this can't be it. And that's exactly what we spoke about when we spoke about faith. Faith says, there's something more for me. I'm dreaming and I'm praying bigger than what I'm seeing right now. And I want that. So if this is just for me, that's fine. But I want more. I want to see God, like Peach was saying this morning, I want to see God breaking through in my life, in your life, in South Africa. We were singing this morning, there's revival. And I'm like, yes, we don't even know what we're saying anymore. Because we've become so satisfied and so comfortable with what we've got that we forgot that there needs to be more. And if we don't live in that space of saying there's more, we stop reaching for more. And here's the thing with wanting more or better. Here's the thing of wanting deeper, especially with your spiritual walk, but with anything in life. It's great to have goals. It's great to have New Year's resolutions, although we all know they don't work. But even goals will only stay goals until you figure out what's the first step to reach that goal. Right? If you're not on the right path, you will never get to where you're going because you're not really sure where you're going. So you need some idea of there needs to be more, and in faith I can see there's more and better for me. But then with that comes that first step I need to take. That initial small change I bring into my life. Sometimes those changes are very uncomfortable. Mostly those changes are very uncomfortable. Mostly it's going to cost me something outside of my comfort, outside of my satisfaction. It's outside of that, and you need to step into the unknown. Step into something that's not comfortable, something that's challenging, because if I don't step into it, I'm never going to get there. And we can see this thing as either it's fear holding me back, because that's the opposite of faith. It's not doubt. The opposite of faith is fear. Because when we fear, we don't step into what God has for us. I don't know if you've ever heard of the guy, Hernan Cortez. He was a Spanish general that attacked the Aztecs. And so what he did was he realized that they are totally outnumbered and that they have no chance of winning this war. So what he did was when they landed in America, or South America, when all the oaks got off of the boats, he burned down all the boats. So now these oaks know we better win, because if we don't win, there's no way out. And sometimes in life, we need to burn the boats, because if the boat is still there, the safety net is still there, we're not going to push ourselves to the more that God promises us. Safety net's the comfort. That place of being satisfied is dangerous because it steals what's in the future. With drug addiction or even alcoholism, we use the term of hitting rock bottom. Have you ever heard that term, rock bottom? That's where the guy realizes, I've just lost everything. And most addicts need to end up there before they can change. Some of them still eat there and still don't change. And it's almost there. We need to be so dissatisfied with the status quo, with the situation I'm in, so dissatisfied with this to say that there must be more, and I will do extreme things, uncomfortable things to get there. I'm going to read out of Matthew chapter 9. And we're talking about fasting. And for some of us, fasting is impossible. I cannot see myself not eating. For some of us, it doesn't make sense. And I believe fasting is one of those steps that we take. Fasting is that step you take in saying, I'm going to do something very uncomfortable, do something that goes totally against my nature, and I'm going to say, I'm serious enough about God. I'm serious enough about Jesus that I will do something uncomfortable because I'm seeking Him. So let's read out of Matthew chapter 9. We'll start at verse 14. It says, Then John's disciples came and asked him, How is it that we and the Pharisees fast often, but your disciples do not fast? Jesus answered, How can the guest of the bridegroom mourn while he is with them? The time will come when the bridegroom will be taken from them, then they will fast. No one sews a patch of unshrunk cloth on an old garment, for the patch will pull away from the garment, making the tear worse. Neither do people pour new wine into old wineskins. If they do, the skins will burst, the wine will run out, and the wineskin will be ruined. No, they pour new wine into new wineskins, and both are preserved. See, what fasting does is fasting gives us a new wineskin for God to fill us with new wine. But the thing with fasting is that we sometimes approach fasting as this way of twisting God's arm. Because now I want breakthrough, or I want a miracle, or I want to see this, or I want this. And then we think, well, if I fast, then this is going to give me what I need. But actually what it's doing is something totally different. What fasting does is, and Jesus says it here, he says, why would the guest fast while the bridegroom is with them? And that's the key. Jesus was with them. Then Jesus says, but there will come a time when the bridegroom will not be with them, and then they will fast. You see, fasting is all about the presence of Jesus in my life. It's got nothing to do with getting stuff from God. It's got everything to do with getting God to me. And what fasting does is, very simply put, it shows God how serious you are about Him. Now there is a lot of blessings that comes with that, because when you get Jesus, you get all the blessings that come with Jesus. But often we want the blessing without Jesus, so we seek the blessing and not Jesus. But what fasting does is, I'm doing something extreme against my nature because I want Jesus. And when I have Jesus, His protection, His guidance, His blessing, everything I have because of Him, I walk into. Are you hungry yet? Fasting is saying to myself, I am hungrier for God, hungrier for the things of God, hungrier for the leading and the guiding of the Spirit than I am for food, than I am for physical things. How hungry are we for God? Or have we become satisfied with coming to church, singing a couple of songs, maybe having some goosebumps, listening to a sermon, going home, and that is my Christianity? Or can I say today, I am dissatisfied, that I want more of Jesus. I want more of God. I want to see God changing lives. I want to see God changing my life, because I'm not satisfied with where I'm at. I want more. I want to go deeper into Jesus. Am I hungry for God? Am I dissatisfied with where I'm at?